subscribe, hit the like button, fire it up. I'm the main host, Mondo. Let's do this. Welcome to Five Fires YouTube. Today we're going to be firing up over here at Warner Brothers Studio Tour here in Hollywood. So in today's adventure, we're going to be checking out behind the scenes for a lot of horror movies. It's kind of more of a horror-based tour. It's my first time that I've done one during Halloween time, but shout out to Warner Brothers for inviting us out today. It's kind of also being based on It. So, and there's like props and stuff like that we're going to check out. Can't wait to show you guys what they got to offer this Halloween.
Yeah, we should go in.
Wow, this thing is gigantic.
Yeah.
And these are actually 2019 props. Bill Skarsgård, so cool. The crazy part is we are on the verge of Welcome to Derry debuting. The new TV show featured about It. This is so cool. It's like my childhood right here. That was such a cool tour. Just kind of like a horror aspect to it all. But the big main event is we are going to watch It Chapter 2 inside the theater over here. But they got some cool photo ops that we're going to do. It's just cool to be back at the Warner Brothers lot, man. So much history and great movies that have all been filmed here over the years. What'd you think of that experience?
It was really cool. I wish we had more time, but I get they're trying to like rush everybody to get here for the movie screening, but it was so cool.
That prop warehouse, I could be there like 20 hours.
It was like a cramped antique store with
the
most
craziest
randomest stuff I could ever imagine.
It looks like this tour did not survive. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Can't wait to find out what this is all about. Welcome to Derry. If I'm not mistaken, we're like very close to this debuting.
You just want to do your own photos, that's cool too.
Over here on the back side, they got this cool photo op. And if you open the middle door, you got Georgie. Georgie on the other side. So in today's special tour around the Warner Brothers lot, we got to check out the prop house. I've never had a chance to actually go in there, but there's so much to see. The amount of props that they have is endless hallways. This warehouse is gigantic, and every nook and cranny is just filled with props that are used from old movies, current movies, future movies that we don't even know about. I really wish I could just hang out in there. But at the same time, one of our hosts that was walking us through was saying that like things move while you're in there. And when me and my girlfriend were walking by, things were moving. I think it's because we were stepping on the floor and things kind of were shaking, but things were moving. Things that weren't supposed to be moving were moving. It was kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. All I thought about, I was like, they should make a horror movie in that prop warehouse, honestly. But the vast stuff that they had in there, unbelievable. It's just cool to be completely surrounded by movie magic in that prop warehouse. To do that experience, they say it's usually held for more of a VIP experience or just a more premium Warner Brothers lot tours. But for today being behind the scenes and just kind of more horror orientated, especially with It, that's why they let us go in the prop house. But that was cool, very, very cool. At 7 o'clock, we're gonna have a presentation, and then they're gonna be showing It. And I heard the speakers that are gonna be coming, I heard it's gonna be some big names. So let's see how it all plays out.
Barbara and Andy Muschietti.
Good morning. All right, guys.
Thank you both so much for being here today for our WB horror screening for It Chapter 2. We have a few minutes for a Q&A session. If you have a question for Barbara or Andy, we have our mic stands up in the back, so feel free. I'd like to ask the first question. What got you both into the horror genre?
We were exposed to horror movies very early in life. by chance, I guess, but also what our parents were like cinephiles, but there was a very specific event, not one event, but there was a program. There was a TV show on every Saturday night at 10 o'clock. It was the time where there was only 4 channels on TV, and our TV was a 12-inch black and white. We're that old, but also South America. You know, so we didn't get color TV until 1980. Wow. So this was before that, and so every Saturday we would, be stuck in front of this TV, and there we saw movies that really imprinted us very early, and probably inappropriate for that age. But in that show we saw movies like Dr. Fives, Manster, The Hand, classics. And also there was not a lot of criteria except that it was horror. So you would get movies from different ages, different decades, different studios, different countries. The Fearless Vampire Killers was another one that sort of blew our minds, also because it was one of those first contacts with a horror movie that was also a comedy. The Omega Man was another great movie that is also Warner Brothers. If you didn't see it, you should, I think. If you like, the Omega Man was actually the movie that then later was remade as I Am Legend. But also, the Omega Man was a remake of The Last Man on Earth, which is a movie based on the book I Am Legend. It's a weird loop.
Full circle.
Full circle. Trilogy of Terror. I'm gonna shut up now. But there's a lot of movies that we saw, and
no, and we loved. We're very lucky that our parents let us go into horror, into genre, and also we read a lot of horror books. Edgar Allan Poe. There were some amazing South American horror authors like Horacio Quiroga, and we loved it. And we've been asked 1,000 times, but do you really like horror? What is there not to like? And it's also such a cathartic experience to watch a great horror movie. I think all the tension you keep inside, just like you let go. It's therapy.
Absolutely, I think we can all agree with that for sure. All right, we're going to take some questions real quick. How about you right up here?
Hello, nice to meet you both. Thank you so much for being here. Big fan of both movies. I wanted to know if both of you, had a favorite memory from filming both movies.
from filming the movies. Yeah, well, there's so many. Honestly, I don't know if I can put a priority to them, but there were some were intense, some were a lot of fun to shoot. Anything involving Bill Hader and PJ Ransom was a blast, and well, I'm not gonna talk a lot about Bill Hader, but Bill Hader is a guy that really doesn't turn off. In between takes, he's even funnier than and when he's on and he find the perfect partner with PJ Ransom that is also like this wonderful neurotic human being, and they would feedback into each other, and the banters were phenomenal. Emotional, there's a lot, the death of Stanley in It 2, Stan Uris was pretty emotional. Conversation between Georgie and Bill at the end of It 1 was very emotional. And this, of course, you have to create, along with the actors, an atmosphere. Given that shooting a movie is such a fragmented and dry and distant, sometimes because it's like bit chunks by chunks, and you're surrounded by a whirlpool of activity and everything. You manage to get, if everyone is committed and we all believe in it, you manage to create these magical moments on set that are really, really, really special. And the Georgie and Bill conversation at the end before he shoots his brother. It's not Georgie, really. I don't know if you saw it. What else?
For me, the best memories are when we were all together, right? So on it one, I think it was the gathering at the end.
Yeah, the blood oath. The blood oath was very special.
Was just
because it was truly emotional. The kiss at the end. There was no music on set, but we could hear the music. Everything with Bill. Everything with
Yeah, and everything, but because that scene in particular, we shot at the end of our shoot schedule. The kids knew that they were gonna be, everybody would go home, and everybody was so emotional, and that was such a special summer for the kids and for us as well. So that was fantastic. And on It Chapter 2, my favorite memory, and you'll be shocked at this, was when we had all the adults at the quarry.
Yeah. There was something very special about the blood oath, and now I'm remembering. It is when we realized in the book that scene, they made a blood pact, and they say, well, we're not gonna let this go. If it comes back, we're gonna come back, and then they all forget. But in the book it says that was the last time that all the losers were together.
Wow.
Why? Because Stanley died. And so it's so emotional, and in a strange way, when we were shooting this, it's like, okay, these kids are gonna grow up, and they're not gonna be the same, little people that they are. And this is something that we notice a lot with, over the course of these two movies and the shows,
And Mama too.
Mama too. You see the kid actors grow, and then they become adults and everything. And it's it's curious to notice that there's something, the book, one of the themes of the book is the end of childhood, and how like the magic and the magic of childhood just dissipates when people become like teenage and then young adults, and I'm not saying that the magic of these kids disappeared, but we could certainly notice that their approach to acting has slightly changed when they came back for it too, because they were already on the other side. I just wanted to point out that there was like the parallelism between the real experience of shooting and what the book is about. It's just meaningful. Yeah.
But now we have different relationships with them, because now they can drink. No, but
There's some more growth there now.
They're fantastic, and it's funny because of original losers, a bunch of them live in New York, like a block away from each other. They're still incredible, and they didn't know each other before we put them together. So it's still there's a lot of glue there.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank
Not
you.
yet. So I want to just point out everything that also special moments like Bill's scarf, everything that Bill touched was he made it magical, really. And probably one of the biggest memories is the storm drain scene, which is the opening of the movie. Ironically, is the last thing we shot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was in part because, as I said before, everything is fragmented out of place, but also there was a desire to have Bill find the character, because that's how we approach. There's one of the traits of the monster is its unpredictability. So Bill approached the character, among other things, with a lot of unpredictability, and he would give me performances that were different from take to take to take, and I was really like encouraging to him and giving the freedom to like give me anything. and the movie is the result of that freedom, and the result of there's scenes where we would combine like takes in the same scene, takes different takes. One shot is a take, the other shot is another take, which normally it's very normal in movies, but not when an actor does different performance every time. Yeah, I'll shut up now.
Thank you, that fan. Next up, right up here, your question.
You guys are a sibling duo. Do you think that really works with your movies? I can't imagine working with my sister or my brother or anything. So, we're curious about that.
We hardly talk during the shoot. That would be a disaster.
No, we talk too much during the shoot, actually. No, but listen, we fight every day. We fight every day we're on Earth. We fight generally about dumb sibling stuff, like, why did you put, a piece of gum on my Starbucks coffee?
On the lid.
On the lid.
That's more like, that sounds like something you would do.
Me! You do it. Well, it doesn't matter, but it's sibling stuff. But the other side of that is that it is really a hard business we're in. It's a very hard business, and having somebody that is with you unconditionally is everything to me. You can talk for yourself.
It means nothing to me. No, but the truth also is that we do very, very different things. Our roles are very divided. Even though we spend the whole day, every day on the set. There's almost no intersection.
Yeah, he directs, I produce, and it's very, that's a very straight.
So the heat starts happening at the end of the day when the time comes, and I still need more shots. And I come up
Andy
with
could
stuff,
shoot
and she's like,
24 hours a day,
we
basically.
can't stop. And I'm like, we
gotta
gotta stop.
Yeah,
And it's not,
people have to go to
can't
sleep and eat.
Don't stop me now. But you should try it with your sister. Just make sure that the roles are divided.
It's about finding that right balance.
Yeah.
All right, how about you right up here?
Hola, hola.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola, hola.
So, incredible fan of your work. But I have this question for you guys. Have something paranormal or spooky have ever happened when you guys are filming? Please share with us.
I mean, while we were filming, or?
I mean, during the filming, or like with something going on, or maybe something happened that inspired you to put it on a movie.
Well, I'll tell
Well,
you.
the actor that played Pennywise died, actually. And we had to replace him with Bill Skarsgård. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean, if something spooky happened like during your filming, I mean, when you're like shooting, or like, you guys want to share with us?
The thing is that, when you're shooting, there's probably 200 people on set. It's the least scary place on earth, when we shoot. But Andy, we were at a horror festival in Portugal, and Andy had an experience.
Ooh, share it.
In Fantasporto.
What happened?
You woke up in the middle of the night and there was somebody sitting at the top of your bed.
What?
He told me this.
He repressed this one. He didn't want to remember it.
I was drinking the night before.
An implanted memory. Like
No, I swear to God, you told me this.
Implanted memory.
You don't remember?
maybe I suppressed it. Was it like
Maybe. Okay.
sleep paralysis?
Okay, it's
It
my
could
turn
have
now.
been.
Okay, I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you my story. We had a production company in Barcelona. We were working in Barcelona, and I was alone in this big house, right? That was the office. And it was night, and I went to use the upstairs bathroom, and as soon as I closed the door, I hear somebody coughing from the other side of the door. And I freaked out.
It's an empty building.
What? Empty,
building.
completely empty.
In the middle,
building.
in the night. It was at night.
I opened the door, there was no one there, closed it back again. I'm peeing, and again, somebody coughing from the other side of the door. So I literally ran out of the house, and I'll never forget that. It was an old house, so I think there was someone that had something to say there.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you.
No, I won't do that either.
Well, you can tell us what happened to you.
Well, I don't ask, I just run. So I notify later like what's going on, but I just run. If I see people running, I run. I don't ask.
I have to say, I'm going to complete that. We were editing in the same building. This was many years ago in Spain. Same building. In the middle of the night, we were editing some commercial with Juan.
Yeah.
And we were a little high, just a little high. But suddenly a knock on the wall, like a big knock on the wall. In a building that is otherwise like empty.
Yeah, and
Just me
also
my friend.
it
And
doesn't
my friend-
share walls with other homes. It's like a substanding house.
And my friend looks at me and says, "Was that a head hitting the wall?" Which is weird because why would he say a head? And it's exactly what I was thinking. That a head on the other side that like hit the door. I guess we were smoking the same stuff. Anyway, and with that, thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. All right, next question right up here.
Hi, so you mentioned that you read a lot of Spanish lore that kind of inspired you to do horror movies. Is there a Spanish lore that hasn't been into a movie that you'd be interested in making into a movie?
We always get into trouble when you ask this to Andy because he'll say something and then we'll get 1,000 calls on Monday about wanting to do this. That's what happened with The Howling, and here we are.
No, I think that Quiroga is a writer that really means a lot for Latin American literature, but to us growing up, this is a guy who wrote a lot about man versus nature in very twisted ways, and there's several like short stories from him that are terrifying, but one in particular is called the Feather Pillow. I can tell it to you, or you can go and read it. What do you think?
I think people should read it. It's short.
It's a spoiler.
But it's great.
Yeah, short. Quiroga, the Feather Pillow.
And then there's an Argentine author who's basically our age, Mariana Enriquez, who's unbelievable. And there's a book called Our Share of the Night, which is absolutely incredible, and I highly recommend it as a reading. Guaron tried, kicked it around to see if he could adapt it. We read it, to see if we could do something. It's just such an ambitious story that I think it's going to take some real, brains to find an adaptation. We don't have the brains right now, so maybe one day we do.
All right, well, thank you so much for that question. Right up here, what do you got for us?
Thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to ask, this is not a very deep cinematic question, but it's more of, as a horror fan, I know we all look for that jump scare. So how do you, when you go into making a jump scare, or do you even think about it? Is it something you're like trying to attain? Because I know a lot of us, that's what we love about horror films, is getting that fear, that natural fear that you guys can, in which we all got in both of them.
Yeah, jump scares I love jump scares, and it's definitely like one of the tools of the kit of the big starter kit of horror. Not starters, I mean like in the toolkit, and I love it and I embrace it, and I'm always trying to find inventive and original ways, because we've seen so many. But you can tell the ones that are original when you see the history of jump scares. That I actually recommend. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that are like quite inspiring and didactic too. But normally I try to scare myself when I think of a jump scare, and yeah, it's the process is just like one would scare the shit out of me if I didn't know that this was happening.
Said it's like the set is not a fearful place at all. So
No.
how do you like get into that spot of?
No, yeah. But what I meant is, I'm not trying to literally scare myself on set. But if it's a bit of like a hypothetical situation where like I'm seeing this movie and I don't know anything, and this would fucking scare me. And it's rational, but also it's very visceral, you know, because you have to draw from things that are very much inside, and it's not a intellectual process. Sometimes they're like, you know, like things that are like quite unexplainable. Why, you know, has that shade? The whole thing with the Modigliani monster in It One, the painting that chases Stanley around, whether you like, you know, the monster or not. For me, that's fucking scary because it really there was a painting, it was a Modigliani painting on the wall. It was a print, of course, growing up, and it never made sense to me. Why something so scary would be on a wall, you know?
Because of Mom. That's right.
Mom. So if you see all the movies that we made, there's always like some version of a Modigliani painting, which is the elongated features,
Mama.
empty eyes. Yeah, Mama is a case of that. And I still have it, and many people might not react this way, but to the same thing, because every one of us is scared of a different thing.
And we love jump scares. I mean, when they get me, I'm so happy. It's like,
But of course, like a good jump scare, sometimes it comes out of nowhere, which is great. It's in the middle of a conversation, and literally in the middle of a sentence. That's why it's like, you know, guys like Flanagan did a great jump scare on Haunted House on Haunted Hill. I might be saying it wrong. When the two sisters are talking and suddenly like the dead sister comes out of nowhere. They're in the middle of the most boring.
Right?
Huh? Yeah.
Out of right in the middle.
Yeah. That's a genius jump scare, because it's not a jump scare that is built up. I was going to basically talk about a build up. That a jump scare is sometimes it's very good when you have a good build up. Sometimes it's the opposite. Weapons had I don't know if you saw Weapons, but he has a bunch of really good jump scares. And there is a sort of a pattern there that is really, you know, kind of admirable, which is like the most effective jump scares happen in the middle of obviously in a seemingly calm moment, or not so much, but specifically they happen in the middle of a word. Someone is talking and saying something, so because your attention is drawn to what is being said, is the perfect moment to just, you know, blow you out of the lake with, is that an expression? Blow your socks out of the furnace. Perfect. I don't speak English.
All right, thank you so much for that. We're going to take one last question. What do you got for us?
Hey there. I was just wondering, with the new series starting tomorrow, will questions be answered, like why dairy, and where did Pennywise originate from? Things of that nature.
No answers, but more questions, actually. No, I'm kidding.
There's a lot, so no, that's a good question. There's like, for me, like, and also the purpose behind the series, and the thing that really motivated us to go into this crazy adventure of 4 years, is first, we love the book a lot, and the feeling that there was so much story that was untold, but also the enigmas in the book are so strong, and there's an intention in Stephen King. He intentionally creates like a puzzle that is unsolved, clearly unsolved, and that creates like a vacuum, and the audience, the reader, like leans is forward on the story more, because it's like, I want to know. But at the end of the book, we know very little about it. So the impulse for us was, on one hand, like creating, bringing more pieces of the puzzle to solve those enigmas, or at least just to flesh out the stories around those enigmas, and also on the other hand, because it wouldn't be fun if we just answer every single question mark. So we're answering certain big enigmas, like what is it? How did it become the town? Why? Who the fuck was Bob Gray? For people who read the book, it's like so cryptic the way that Stephen King does it. He does it on purpose, right? But that's where our curiosity is. And while doing that, we're telling a hidden story. There's a story that when I went back to the book, I realized that there was a story that was hidden there. And it was it's a story that is told backwards. We are telling it backwards for a very specific reason that you will see if you see the show. But to your question also, there's a bigger mythology that will be exposed. There's an iceberg under the water that I want this series to basically expose, reveal a bigger story that is not only Pennywise and the losers and Derry, it's the other side, the macroverse, the turtle, all those things that in the book are only like seen in glimpses, because the perspective is so fixed on the humans. There's no way to see what's on the other side, because we can't perceive it really. They only perceive it when they do the smokehouse and through the help of the indigenous community, or based on the indigenous experience. They go to the other side, inhaling the smoke, the kids, and they have a vision of the comet falling down. So anyway, I'm talking too much. So you're here to see a movie, right? So I don't know how many of you have seen it too already. Yeah. Maybe some of you didn't. So in that case, it's going to be a fresh experience. It's not a short one. It's not a short movie, but it used to be longer. My original cut was 4 hours and a half. You don't want to see that one. Director's cut. We can talk about Supercut also if you want. Supercut, but no, I won't. Supercut is a blend of the two movies, and it's restructured. And also, there's a dozen of new scenes that have to be shot.
Keep talking about it, you're gonna have to make it actually.
There it is. People want it. They want it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you guys so much for your questions. That's going to be it for questions this evening. And thank you both again so much for being here for our WB Behind the Horror Tour and Screening.
Okay, thank you, Brianna.
Real quick, before we kick off.
Do a quick run through of the shop. They got all this Halloween stuff. Whoa. Wow, this is crazy. Not too often you get to run into Freddie and Jason.
They look like they're just hanging out.
Yeah, just a couple of bros.
Put a hand on the hip.
They're like, so I got this one kill. They got Lost Boys stuff. Wow. Spirit jersey? That's on the back. Oh, wow. Look at that. This is like, honestly, one of the coolest shops ever. Scooby-Doo. Look at the Spirit jersey. First time seeing that. I love Derry, or Welcome to Derry merch as well. That's cool. And they got an Exorcist photo op over here. I don't know if I want to step foot over here. Exorcist Spirit jersey? What the heck? Wow. That is so scary. Holy macaroni. This is from the Conjuring universe, 2013 to 2025 props. That is some scary stuff. Do not touch anything, under any circumstance, of the stuff that you're gonna see in this room.
Things have been known to move. We've seen paranormal activities around here.
This is just scary.
Beep, 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 beep.
This is
Oh,
scary.
that's my ghost detector.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Thank you, Warner Brothers, for this incredible, phenomenal experience. I'm so happy. We're walking out of Exorcist music. I need to get out of here. It's getting a little too scary with all this Conjuring stuff. But thank you, Warner Brothers. Awesome day. Firing it down.